Good morning, anybody who hops in. Just getting started. I wanted to go live for a minute and go over. I'm just going to read through some Auburn news. I'm just kind of catching up on. Got my coffee this morning, and that's really it. I kind of do this every Saturday morning. I just catch up on anything I missed from the week, and if you want to join in, go for it. I've got. I'm also watching Game Day in the background, so if you're watching that as well, go for it, and you can drop something in the comments if you notice something that you want to talk about. But other than that, I'm just going to go ahead and get started on my normal Saturday morning routine. Got Game Day on, like I said. I'm watching Auburn stuff, and I'm actually going to go through some news, and I'll pop it up on screen if you want to look through it with me, because I've not read a lot of this stuff yet, and I want to before the actual game starts in a little bit. So here we go. So first up, one thing I wanted to look at, which I thought this is exciting news to me. And if anybody's going to be at the game, if you could record this for me, because I will not be there live like I'd like to be. I did find out that Alabama State's marching band is going to be playing, which I know that's not football related necessarily, but that is a very big deal. So if anybody is going to be at the game and records it, please send it to me. I'm going to go ahead and pop this up on screen for you real quick if I can find it. Sorry, I don't go live too much. Hey, can somebody tell me you can't hear? I've got Game Day on in another window. You guys can't hear that, can you? Because it's coming in through my headphones, but I just want to make sure it's not distracting for you guys. I'm going to share my screen in just a second. Well, I said that. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I did see this on Fly War Eagle. It says Auburn football fans react to confirmation that ASU band will march at Jordan-Hare Stadium. This is huge news, because I was not sure if it was going to happen or not. And if you've never seen them play before, it's really, I mean, they're amazing. That's one of the reasons that things like Classic it's so entertaining. The bands are so good. Hey, thank you for confirmation on that the sound is good and you're not hearing my distracting Game Day in the background. Does Hunter get another 100 yards? And no on hearing. Oh, good. No on hearing Game Day. I think so. Here's what's going to be interesting with what you're talking about with Hunter. So you guys know I'm pretty big on Jarquez Hunter. I have, if you've not seen, I posted a video about him in, I think it was the end of June, if you've not seen it. And I've been big on him since he joined. And I was at the game last week versus Akron, and I was absolutely, even though I expected big things, I was shocked by how well he did, because those breakout runs they were crazy. And you just don't expect that from a brand new back right out of the gate. So as far as your question, does Hunter get another 100 yards? I think he does, because he only had 9 carries. 9 carries, and he got over 100 yards. What's going to be interesting to me is what are the coaches going to do with Shaun Shivers, because you don't want to disrespect him. He's a good runner. I mean, he averaged, I think, 13 yards per play last week. And so you don't want to disrespect Shivers or anything like that. But at the same time, it's obvious what you've got in the future with Jarquez Hunter. So I think the coaches will be smart about this, and I think they will give Jarquez a chance to run up those yards again, because it's obvious that between Tank Bigsby and Hunter, I think we have a good chance of having 2 running backs with over 1,000 yards this season. I may be off base in saying that, but I think I think it's possible. Is it likely? Well, no, but I think it's a possibility. For sure, one of them is going to be over 1,000 yards, and more than likely that's going to be Tank. But I think the coaches are smart, and they see a spark with Jarquez Hunter from last week. They see what he is capable of, and the smartest thing they can do, and the smartest thing I saw last week that we did not see under the previous administration, under the previous coaching staff, is that they are giving a lot of time to these backup players to try to develop them. We know that's what some of the biggest programs do very well. And that's why it's important that we do the same thing. We've got to give these backup guys time to develop and time to improve and time to learn, because you never know when your backup player is going to become the starter. Good morning, Auburn 41. And I see you've also got your coffee in hand. Hey, look at this. Just got some new coffee mugs made. It's kind of inspired by if you're into those Nirvana shirts everybody's wearing right now. I thought it would be fun to make one, but it's Auburn. Why not? I may give some of those away eventually. I actually gave 2 away this week, but I've got a couple of those on hand that I can give out. Good morning, Casey. So I want to see Jordan Ingram today. I was really excited for him. Yeah, Jordan Ingram is he was an exciting pickup for us over this past season as well. And is there a chance we'll see him? I think are they trying to sit him out? I'm going to look this up while I'm talking to you guys. But are they trying to sit him out and save him? Because I was kind of shocked we didn't see him in this last game. I expected to see Hunter, but the one, and I cannot believe I'm drawing a blank on this. Somebody in chat, who was the walk-on? I cannot remember his name. Who was the walk-on running back that got into the game last week? So Hunter, you had Tank getting most of the snaps. You had Sean get a couple. Jarquez Hunter got like 9. And then the walk-on got a couple, and I cannot remember. Oh, my gosh. All right. Sorry, I'm looking this up on the fly. Thank you, Casey. Yes, Sean Jackson, and he deserves a scholarship. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to get a scholarship or not this season, but I think if he shows that he is he's working hard and he's producing on the field, there's a chance he will get it. The stats from last week, I know he got a few yards, nothing crazy, but the question is he going to get more time? I think right now the hard thing for the coaches is they've got all these good running backs. We finally are in a good place, it looks like, with our running game. And I think the coaches are having a hard time figuring out what to do. Do you give Sean some time because he's about to be gone? Do you develop some of these backup guys, which is personally the way I would go, because Shivers is not going to be your first running back. He's just not the guy that can get play after play after play after play. He's the kind of running back you want to throw in to mix it up. He's a great second or third string running back, like I said, to mix things up, but he's not your guy you want to just be feeding the ball over and over and over and over. That's not his style. Thank you for that, Casey. But I'm sorry, I already read that. Yeah, but I think that's the interesting thing. One thing I do want to watch today is I think the receiving game was very surprising last week. Was there anybody in the chat? Was there anybody that you were shocked to see either doing well or getting more plays than you expected? The one for me was Shedrick Jackson. I did not expect him to get as many targets as he did last week. He, from what I remember from last season, I thought he dropped a ton of passes from what I remember, but I may be remembering that incorrectly. But in the past, I thought he dropped a lot of passes. And so when he was targeted so much on Saturday, I was pleasantly surprised. He did very, very well, had a great game. The receiver that I'm hoping we will see more from that we did not see a lot from last game is Xavier Capers. I'm pretty high on him, and I think he has a lot of potential. We saw a little bit from Capers and Canyon in the game versus Northwestern in the Citrus Bowl, and I thought we'd see more from both of them. Obviously we had a transfer come in and started right away with Robertson. Shedrick Jackson came in, and then one of the other players that I was hyping in the offseason with one of my Better Know player videos was Javarius Johnson, and he's immediately making an impact in the game. So I was not surprised to see him play. But the two that I'm expecting we may see more from in the future are Capers and Canyon. And I'm more high on Capers than anything. He actually, I need to show you guys some video. So I've not made one of those better know a player videos in a while. And my next one that I'm working on that I've been working on behind the scenes is on Xavier Capers. And I've actually had some really good video on him. I've got some behind the scenes stuff that I was not expecting to get that someone sent me. And what this will show is just what an just all around athlete he is. He is he's truly a multi-sport athlete. He's a very talented baseball player, basketball, you name it, but ended up playing football because that's where his heart was, from what I understand. But from what I've heard from other people, I think everybody thought he was going to go pro in baseball, and it just didn't happen. Anyway, I got way off track with that, but let me pull up those stats from Auburn versus Akron, and who has does anybody have a favorite website to pull stats? I'm trying to pull one that has a good breakdown where it will show all the running backs. I had this pulled up last night, but where it will show you all the running backs and how many yards they got and how many carries and all the receivers. I usually go to ESPN some, but it's not breaking it down for me right now. That was jet sweeps. I think we'll see some jet sweeps. I don't think it's going to be a go-to like it has been before, but we've got some speed, and good grief, Jarquez Hunter has got some speed. I think that is something we saw from some of his highlights in high school, but I don't know. Sometimes you lose some of that when you go from high school to college because you do bulk up. And we know that has been a priority for Harsin, is to bulk up the players in the off season. But it does not seem like it affected Jarquez Hunter at all. I think he actually just got faster. It's very impressive. Casey, what you got? You said if they are seeing out Jordan Ingram, does that mean he is the third back and Sean could come back next year because of the extra year thing? Oh yeah, I forgot the COVID year. That's a good question. I'm not sure how the COVID year is working this year. I'm actually going to write that down and come back to it. That was a great flare pass to Shivers. There were 4 key blocks for him that helped him out. Yeah, hey, I'll pull that up real quick. Does anyone know when that flare pass happened to Shivers? Because I actually had that pulled up yesterday looking at some of this. Sorry if you can hear me drinking right in the microphone. Yeah, Auburn put out some pretty good highlights. I pulled some for a video for Jarquez last night, and I put that out this morning and pulled his best runs all from the third and fourth quarter. Casey said first quarter. Okay, I'll pull that up real quick because we have. Here we go. Whoops. And I will go side screen so you can see this. Wait. Stop sharing that. And I'll make me smaller. Here we go. All right. So does anybody know about where that play was?
Left guard with a hole. He's into the clear.
This is a fun play.
15, 10, 5, touchdown.
All right, let me see if I can. We may be getting close on this one.
Now looks downfield. All kinds of time to throw. He throws it to Tank Bixby.
Are you sure, Casey? Are you sure it was in the first?
25.
I know exactly which play you're talking about. Oh, wait. Here it is.
Nix from the gun. Flips it out. Shivers.
There you go.
Got some blockers in front of him. 15 to the 10. He's to the 5. Dives in the end zone. Is he in? Touchdown!
Yeah, that speed. I mean, that speed from Shivers, you just can't. I mean, you can't beat that. And that's what he's good at. He is good at if he can break through and get through a hole, he's gone. And that's how I think Shivers has to be used. Is he's used on a every couple play basis. He's not going to be in there for 8 plays straight. That's just not him. But if you've got a play dialed up where you can get him to the outside or even through a hole up the middle where he can get that speed going, once he gets up to speed, he's untouchable. And even as you saw at the end of that run, let me pull that back up. As you saw at the end of this run, just like that Iron Bowl in 2019, he can hit. Look at this.
He's to the 5. Dives in the end zone.
He could have been stopped, and he just trucks that guy. So yeah. What else were you talking about? I saw somebody pop something else up. So that was the flare pass you mentioned. There are 4 key blocks for him that helped him. Oh yeah, there were tons of blocks on that one. So if we break that down,
he's got some blockers. You
can see block right here. Wait, up. Hold on. Sorry. You can see a block right here. Can y'all see? You can't see my cursor. Okay, but you can see a block on number 27. You can see number 47 getting their block. 15. You can see right here. Oh, there's my cursor. Block right there. So 3. And I might have missed the 4th one.
Is he in? Touchdown!
But that was something that was very noticeable. People were picking up their blocks, and even the receivers were doing a great job blocking. And that's not something we've seen as much from our previous receivers. And if we can keep that up, we're going to be in great shape. All right, keep these comments coming. The way we will beat Georgia this year is to put 7 O-line out there to create a big hole and just run the football like Minnesota did against. Man, Minnesota at first was looking good. They looked great against Ohio State. And yeah, Shivers. What else we got? Can Shivers make the NFL at his position? Okay, some people are going to be mad at this, and if Shivers' mom sees this, I'm sorry, but no, I do not see him making it in the NFL at that position at running back. Look at some of the running backs that are starting right now in the NFL. Is there anyone remotely close to the size of Shivers? I know that's not what some people are going to want to hear, and some people are going to get mad at me even making that comment, but it's the truth. Is there any running back, and if somebody knows one, let me know, but is there any running back you can think of that is remotely close to the size of Shivers? As far as I know, the answer is no. And so as far as him making it to the next level at this position at running back, it's not going to happen. Is there a position he could go for? Maybe, but he's not going to be somebody that's going to be drafted probably at all. And I hate that for him. He's a nice guy. I've talked to him before. If anybody, I did do an interview with him. If you've not seen it, super nice guy when I met him in person. Good family. His mom's super nice. All that's great. But reality is he's not built to be a running back at the next level. And I don't mean any offense towards him, but it's just the truth. Is there a position he could play? I'm not sure. I think the speed that he has is attractive, but outside of that, I just don't think he's the right fit for the NFL. Yeah, nope. Okay. And y'all keep popping comments in the chat, and I'll kind of drive this based on what you're saying. The next thing I wanted to look at is, so I mentioned that the band the band for ASU is coming and they are playing. So if anybody gets footage of that, feel free to send that to me. You can DM me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is, I'll actually pop up on screen real quick because I don't know if All you guys know, I even do Twitter. If you want to send that to me on Twitter, go for it. But let's get back to what we were talking about. Let me remove this. And sorry, I need to get to where I'm quicker. Let's swap in some of this. Okay, so Akron. Nope, not doing Akron. There we go. All right, so this is some of the reactions we've heard from fans. This is on Fansided, so Fly War Eagle Fansided. We got news this week that, so on September 10th, we got news that for sure the band from Alabama State is going to be playing, which that's huge. So if you're going to be at the game, you're going to get quite the show at halftime, and I think that's awesome. People are saying, so it came from Justin Lee from confirmation from Montgomery. Mighty Marching Band, Hornets Band will travel Saturday in Jordan-Hare Stadium and will perform at halftime. That's huge news. And these are the reactions we've seen. This is the best news I've heard all week. The Honeybees are headed to the Plains. Oh man, this alone will be worth the price of admission, and that is the truth. The Hornet Nation Band is amazing. What else? Wish I was going to the game now. So if anybody is going, at least send me a picture or something. I hate I'm not making it to this one. Yeah, I hate that. Okay, the other thing I wanted to look at. So somebody else put out 24/7 put out 10 storylines to watch for the Alabama State and Auburn game. Let's go through that. I told you guys I'm just going through my morning routine. If you want to drink coffee and talk and all that, I'm all for it. And yeah, man, the band is awesome. KJ Show, your interview with him was great. Remember Darren Sproles? They have similar styles and size. And yeah, if you didn't see it, Sean's a funny guy, man. They were hilarious. One thing that you did not see in those interviews. So I interviewed TJ Finley, Smoke Monday, and Sean Shivers. Owen Papo was there, but he did not want to interview, and that's fine. I got 3 out of the 4 guys, and actually got what's his name? Barton, drawing a blank. So I actually interviewed 4 players, but yeah, Sean's just a funny guy. But one thing you could not see is I had a stand for my camera that I was using, and going from TJ Finley, who is like 6'7", he's a huge guy. Going from him to Sean Shivers, I had to lower the tripod. And one thing they did, they were giving Sean a very hard time because I had to lower it pretty far to get to his height to get a good shot. And so when I did that, you heard Smoke Monday behind me, which this is not on film, and I would not have put this on film because I'm not going to do it, but I'll talk about it. And Smoke and TJ were just kind of roasting Sean the whole time. And as I was lowering it, they kept saying, keep going, keep going. You know what? Just take it off the tripod and set it on the ground. I mean, they were just funny guys. How many sacks are we going to have today? I say 9 sacks. 9 would be great. And then as far as Sean Shivers and the NFL, Jay Bonham says maybe the Canadian Football League. That's possible. That's possible. There's also another league that I'm kind of interested in, and I did not watch much from this past year. I think the season is like January. No, it's February. I think the season is like February, March. It's pretty short. And the name of the league is Fan Controlled Football. Did anybody see this last year? Johnny Manziel was a part of it. He was a quarterback for one of the teams. I think it was strictly a Twitch league kind of thing where the games were played in, I think it was the Infinite Energy Arena in Georgia, in Duluth, and they were streamed over Twitch. And the weird thing about that league is that the fans actually controlled what the plays were. They controlled what happened on the field, which was pretty cool. And so I could see Sean Shivers getting pulled into something like that. It could be a Canadian league, could be, something like that. But I don't know. What else we got? How did you like Moultrie? Was a beast, man. TD Moultrie was amazing. I knew he was going to have a good game. I can't believe I didn't mention him earlier, but he was a monster, and I'm hoping that will translate when we get into some of these games versus when we get into SEC play or when we get to Penn State next week. TD Moultrie was just incredible, absolutely incredible. So he was, I think, one of the players I was not surprised by, but just impressed with the most. Jarquez was the one that shocked me just because I didn't think he'd get that much play time or that much production that quickly. But on the flip side, TD Moultrie was the other player that I was very pleased with how he played. And honestly, you know what? I'll say Bo Nix as well. I'm one that has criticized Bo Nix pretty heavily in the past. I have. I'm not going to shy away from that. But Bo played well, and I know one of the easy arguments is to say, yeah, it's Akron. They just played Akron, but Bo was impressive because the fact he threw over 90% accuracy was crazy. And if he continues to do something like that, if he continues that accuracy and the way he was staying in the pocket for the most part. He was keeping his feet planted. He was having a quicker release and not winding up as much. Like all the stuff that fans complained about with him, he improved on in the first game at least. And he was in those long balls, those deep balls, he was on target. I mean, he was on target for almost every single play. I think there was a few passes to Shedrick Jackson he might have been a little off on, which I didn't see in person. But when I went back and watched the game, I saw some of that. But other than that, I mean, I was impressed with Bo. I was more disappointed with Finley, and I'm not sure if that's okay or not. You guys, like I said, I didn't see the whole game when I came back. I just watched some highlights. But when I saw Finley in person, I was disappointed. So I'm not sure what you guys saw if you watched it on TV. What was it as bad with Finley as what I saw in person, or is there something I missed? But I was expecting more from someone who was a starter at LSU. I know he didn't finish out the whole season at LSU as the starter, but I was expecting a little more because he did at least have last season. He did have the same or very similar accuracy to Bo Nix last season. Okay, going back over here. And thank you for that comment, Jay. And so I told you I'm going to look at 10 storylines for Auburn versus Alabama State. If there's one you want to talk about more, let me know. So here we go. First one, running back rotation. Hey, it's what we've already been talking about. And see, everybody's noticing, man. Everybody is noticing how big of a deal Jarquez was. Freshman Jarquez Hunter was easily one of the most exciting parts of Auburn's season opening win. Absolutely. Couldn't agree with that statement more. I think he's going to continue to be excitement for this season. Oh my gosh, Jay. Dude. Finley reminds me of Jeremy Johnson. Oh, don't do that to us, man. And I feel bad. I'm not trying to hate on Jeremy Johnson. But kind of like you said, I was at that game with Jeremy Johnson when he played. I think Nick Marshall was suspended versus Arkansas. And so he played the first half. And when he ran up that scoreboard 21 points to 21-0 right away, I bought into the hype, like probably most Auburn fans did. And I don't know if the same hype has been behind Finley, but I kind of see what you're saying as far as having some concerns. Bo looks like a different quarterback this year. He finally has a good coach that can develop quarterbacks, unlike someone that couldn't, not mentioning the name. Yeah, I think the good thing for Bo is that he does have a coach in Brian Harsin that was a former quarterback. So he knows how to play the position. He knows how to develop the position. And not only Brian Harsin, but also Mike Bobo. So he has two coaches he's working with who are experienced as players at the position. And at the same time, they both have a lot of experience developing quarterbacks. So I think it was kind of expected that we would see improvement from Bo. The question for me is, how is Bo going to do with all this improvement? Because we saw it last week, and I think we'll see it again today. But how is he going to do once he gets some real pressure? So when he goes to Penn State, because we know he struggled on the road, how is Bo going to do on the road versus Penn State when we know that he has struggled? We know that he has had a hard time in road games. So will he still have that same poise and composure and good decision making we saw versus Akron when he's in a whiteout game on the road versus a Penn State that looked really good or pretty good versus Wisconsin? That's what I want to see, and I think luckily we've got a little more time. We've got some more time for Bo to develop this week and to get some more practice in. But if he plays like he did last week, this week, I think he's going to be in a pretty good position when he gets to Penn State. What did you mean by this one? Auburn 41 kind of does not impress. I'd rather have Davis. What do you mean by this one? Need some clarification on that one, buddy. Nothing. Well, if you want to clarify, let me know. KJ Show. Hunter will make a difference when the SEC schedule hits in October. Yes, I absolutely agree. You know, we've got a pretty tough run in October. We've got a very busy, involved schedule, and I think Hunter will be a huge factor during that stretch because it's going to be a tough one. Okay, going back to over here. We've got, so I was telling you, so one storyline to watch was the one with our running back rotation, and we've got a lot of depth, so I think we'll be okay. Next, I mentioned offensive line rotation. We, shockingly, a lot of people are high on our offensive line with Nick Brahms at center, and he actually looked okay last week, but once again, it was Akron. But Brandon Council and Tayshawn Manning, I think we've got some good guys on the line, and we are returning, a lot of guys. And so if they can get that push and they can create that pocket, I think we will be okay. We'll see what else we got. Returning faces. Be on the lookout for these three players to return to action this Saturday. So today, these are some players we want to watch for, and those are Tavarish Dawson. He's one that people were missing last week, and then the one I heard talked about the most was Ladarius Tennyson. Let's see who else we have. Who's the third one? Oh, Donovan Kaufman. Okay, so look for these three guys to return this week. Any changes at wide? We've got. Yeah, so this is what I was mentioning just a little while ago. The three most veteran players in the room. Here we go. Names like Elijah Canyon and Xavier Capers saw most of their action in the second half last week with the backups. So Capers is the one that I've said I really want to see some more of. Kobe Hudson appeared to have the biggest role of the young players. I still want to see Capers. I think you guys, if you listen to the War Report, know that right here, Mike G is pretty big on Malcolm Johnson Jr. So I'm hoping personally Capers gets some more snaps. I know Mike G would probably want to see Malcolm Johnson Jr. get some more snaps, so we'll have to see what happens. I completely forgot this. What did you guys think about how the tight ends were used last week? Shanker was good. And I was shocked at how much playtime he got, or not playtime, how many targets he got. And so I think that he is going to make a huge difference if we continue to use him in that way. And it really, really opened things up, just having, the ball spread between Tank and Shanker and our wide receivers, it really just opened up the field to where we had a lot of options and a lot of things going on. And I'm hoping we continue to use the tight end like we did last week. It was very impressive, and I think it will mean great things for Auburn going forward. Offensive execution. Yeah, offense looked great. How many points do you think we're going to score today versus Alabama State? I'm personally thinking it's going to be plus 50 or over 50, but I don't know if it will be as much as we had versus Akron, because Akron has only won like one game in the past couple of years. Did Auburn do a whiteout game in the opener to practice for the whiteout game at Penn State? I'm not sure why we did the whiteout game. I don't know that it was necessarily, I guess it technically is a whiteout, but they picked, I think it was 5 or 6 games. They just had a different theme for each game. And so they had like, there's a Navy game. There's today's the Hometown Heroes game. They just had some different themes for those games. And I'm not sure why the white shirts were worn in the first one, but that is certainly a possibility just to give them that exposure to what that look will be when they get to Penn State. How do you think JJ Pegues did last week? He was fine. He did not stand out to me. I didn't notice him as much, but keep in mind, I was watching this in person from the upper deck, so I did not notice him as much. Not like I did Moultrie or some of the other players that were more obvious, but I didn't hear a whole lot about him. Yep, tight ends look great. That was the biggest thing I noticed. Yep, tight ends were busy, which is great. Yeah, I think the tight end play is just it's going to help us out a lot. The next part of this says shore up special teams. I was so mad when Carlson missed that first PAT. The Carlson brothers just don't miss points after. And so it was Akron, so I knew it would be fine, but I was still irritated when it happened. He's about to go to the NFL. I think we're going to be pretty good at the kicking game. What does this say? I think we're going to be fine going forward, especially with that kid from Fort Payne that we're going to get. But between him and I don't know if we'll see Evan or not. We may. But I think we're going to be fine at special teams going forward. We will have some new on the team with the kid from Fort Payne, but the kicks he's making, he was making some kicks in his high school games that were like 60 plus yards. So he's going to be incredible. But Carlson's got to make those points after. I think somebody told me it was a bad hold. And does anybody know who his holder was? People were joking it was Grant Loy, but I don't think that's the case. I think people were just being funny. And another TD takeover. So this is what somebody mentioned earlier, and I'll pop this back up on screen. Somebody asked me, well, I can't find it. There's too many comments. But they noticed as well. So are we going to have another TD Moultrie takeover today? Absolutely. I think we absolutely will. So I'm just going to read part of this. It says TD Moultrie said that before his 3 tackles for loss performance. He knew that Akron would be scheming to slow down who it knew to be Auburn's 2 best defensive linemen, Derek Hall and Colby Wooden. Moultrie took advantage and attacked the openings, eventually turning in the best game of his career. Yeah, he was on fire. Will teams learn from Akron's mistakes and figure out how to effectively block all 3 players? I don't think so. Now, our defense is killer. I don't think they're going to figure that out. At least not right away, which I think that's a benefit for Auburn going into Penn State. Overall, Auburn had one of its best pass rushing performances in recent memory. Yeah, they look fantastic. And then this is really the question right here. Will more QB depth be used? Based on what I saw last week, I'd say probably not. At least not the way we expected, because maybe he just needs more time. But TJ was kind of a bust that first game, so we'll just have to see what happens with him. Despite their gargantuan lead, Hartson only played one backup quarterback last week. LSU transfer TJ Finley. And yes, he got a touchdown, that 1 yard touchdown, but he just did not do that much. Oh, you know what? I know what you were talking about now, and I can't believe I didn't pick up on it. I am hoping we see Demetrius Davis, because we did not see him. We really did not see him. And so I'm hoping we will see him. But this says, but freshman Demetrius Davis was an impressive player in preseason camp. And if a team's FCS opponent isn't used to getting some experience for the number 3 QB, then it might be unlikely we see Davis all season. Well, that's unfortunate. That is not what I wanted to hear. Because I guess I get it. You want to redshirt him and save him, because if Bo has a really good season, he's going to be gone after this year. If not, he's going to try to get his stock up as high as he can before he tries to go into the draft. But if he can get it up high enough and he keeps playing like he's playing against Akron, he'll probably be gone. That would be the smart thing to do. Take your money while you can get it. But it'll just depend on what happens this season. And there's a lot of season left. And I think that's it for that. So I'll stop sharing that for a second. Okay. Let me come back to the comments and see what you've got. Finley looked overconfident and tried too hard. Yeah, he definitely tried too hard and did not have a lot of success. Yes, he had the 1 yard touchdown, but other than that, there was not a ton of success. The kicker from Fort Payne is good. I've seen him live last night. Who missed 2 since he started? Carlson? Okay, and Jay, I live in the Houston area. Demetrius Davis smashed all high school records over here. I don't remember what his stats were in high school, but I know he was impressive, and that's why people were excited about him coming. But from what I'm reading, he's not going to be playing a lot this season. He has 4 games that he could play and not lose his red shirt, but we'll have to see what happens. Good morning, Elect and Ruth. War Eagle. Okay, coming back to, and oh, sorry. Yeah, and if you didn't see, got some new coffee mugs. I've actually got a couple on giveaway at some point. Does anybody know how? This is probably not the time to do this. I need to figure out how. There's some way I can actually do a giveaway in here, and I have no clue how. I know I need to ask Mike how he does that. There's supposed to be some kind of giveaway option with the hashtag stuff. I don't know how to do that yet. I'm too new to the live stream game, but when I figure it out, I'll do it. War Eagle J Bonham. Hey, and if y'all could help me out, let me show you something real quick. If y'all could help me out with this would be a huge, huge help. If you could encourage some people to subscribe to the channel, let me show you what I'm looking at real quick. So share screen. I cannot believe somebody's cutting their grass right now. It's football Saturday. Come on, guys. Okay. So here you go. Here's what I want you to look at real quick. 709 subscribers. I need to get to 1,000 soon. So if y'all can help me out, share my channel, encourage people to subscribe, that would be fantastic. Next thing I want to look at is, let's look at some of the games we have today, because I need to. I'm in a college pick'em league. I'm not sure if any of you guys participate in something like that. And there's a couple of games today that I'm kind of looking between who I should pick, and I want some advice on it, because of course there's going to be money on the line, or at least my pride, and I don't want that hurt. So let me pull up NCAA football. Here we go. Week 2. All right, so I want to go through this with you guys. Share my screen. And someone tell me, can you hear the lawnmower in the background? If you can, I apologize. It's right outside my window. Here we go. All right. So we've got Auburn versus Alabama State today. That's going to be an easy victory for Auburn. The good thing is we will get to see a lot of play from some backup players like we did last week. I think Hunter's going to have another big game. They let him play. This one right here, Oregon at Ohio State. I picked Ohio State on this one. Let me give you my rationale, and I want to see what you think. Oregon is having to come from the West Coast to Ohio State, and I think that the jet lag, honestly, and the time change is going to be tough on them. And Ohio State looked pretty good as it is, and so I don't see Oregon being able to overcome and beat Ohio State. I may be wrong on that, but I don't think I am. Florida is going to easily handle South Florida. Virginia Tech will easily handle MTSU. Notre Dame's going to win. And here's the fun one. Okay, this is the one I really want to watch at 2:30. UAB versus Georgia. It says Georgia is a 23-point favorite, but UAB looked pretty good last week. I know they played JSU, but UAB has surprised some people in the past. Is there anybody in the chat that thinks UAB can keep up with or even beat Georgia? Is this a possible upset today? How many think I'm crazy on that one? I picked Georgia, just to be clear. Yeah. I kind of want to keep an eye on the Penn State game just so I know what we're dealing with next week. Alabama is obviously going to easily handle Mercer. And then the game day game, they are in Iowa today because we have a top 10 matchup between Iowa and Iowa State. And so I think that is going to be a good game to watch. Keep on going down. I think Clemson's going to finally get their first win versus SC State, obviously. And the night games, this is the one I'm the most interested in. And I think I just saw somebody, who do you like between Arkansas and Texas? Okay. This one's going to be an interesting game because both teams are undefeated, 1-0. Texas is typically trash. They are ranked this season. They've got a new coach with Sarkisian. And what we don't know is how good they actually are. Yeah, they looked pretty decent last week. Arkansas, wasn't bad. But I think the hard thing is we don't know how actually good they are. This one, I'm actually going to say this, and y'all can come back later and say I was wrong because it's possible I'll be wrong. I think Arkansas is going to beat Texas. I'm just going to put it out there. Texas is only a 7-point favorite. But I just have a feeling that Arkansas has a chance in this one. And I expect a close game, a good game. But I think Arkansas is hungry enough. They're tired of being the bottom of the SEC. And I see them improving overall this season. And I think they're going to get the upset today. That's a stretch, especially since they're unranked. But watch it. Let's see what happens. I do like Arkansas over Texas, though, but I would not put money on it. Outside of those games I've mentioned, I think everything else is pretty straightforward. LSU is going to get a win because that was rough for them last week. And other than that, there's just not a whole lot of big games this week, which is kind of disappointing. I mean, Utah, BYU will be a pretty decent game. But outside of that, there's just not a whole lot of huge games. Jay, I'm not gonna put that on screen, but that's funny. I just those are the games I'm going to watch. If there's any you're going to watch outside of that, let me know about it. And from here, that's all I wanted to do this morning was kind of pop on and show you what I'm looking at, what I'm thinking. before we do get to the Auburn Alabama State game. And that's all I have today. So I'll hang around for just a second before I sign off. Did anybody have any final questions they want to throw in or final thoughts they want to throw in before I end the live stream today? I'm going to drink my final bit of coffee. I was just running the live stream until I ran out of coffee, honestly. Washington. All right, Greg Lawrence, Washington versus Michigan interests me due to program placements of blue bloods. Ooh. Gregory, what time is that game? Why am I not seeing it? Oh, here it is. Oh, night game. Yeah, that's okay. That is an interesting game, and it is both teams are unranked, but Michigan's only favored by 6.5 points, and so I think it will also it's going to be a better game than the Utah BYU game actually, but I think there's a lot on the line, especially for Harbaugh. He's been kind of underwhelming. And I think every game he's in this season, he feels like he's got to win most of them. He needs some big wins because he just hasn't been that impressive. He's been, a letdown from what we expected. And 7 o'clock. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So those are the games I'm watching. Obviously, I'm watching Auburn. During that game, I'll be flipping to Ohio State and Oregon. And UAB Georgia at 2:30, and then at night I'm going to be watching that Texas Arkansas game, and I might be flipping between some other stuff. But those are the kind of the big 4 games I'm going to be keeping an eye on today. Feel free, hey, if you guys want to keep up with me during the games today, feel free to chat with me on Twitter. We can get a little thread going and talk back and forth. You can see my handle. Let me put it back up on screen. You can see my handle right there at Infinite Auburn on Twitter. Go ahead and go follow me if you do that kind of thing. And I'd love to keep up with you guys, especially during the Auburn game. Thank you for watching this one. And Gregory, good to see you too as well. Don't do a whole lot of lives, but I'm considering doing a morning thing every Saturday morning if I can, if I'm home and I can swing it. And Coach O plays against his son. Who's this? Is his son playing on that other team? I'll have to keep an eye on that. Well, thank you guys for watching this one. I'm going to be working on an actual format for this morning show that I'm going to try to do on Saturday mornings. I will also try to let you know ahead of time if I'm going to for sure be doing this next Saturday or any Saturday after that. I kind of definitely want to next Saturday since we're playing Penn State. But I will try to put something out on my Twitter or some of these Facebook groups to let you know. So you actually have a heads up and I'm not just randomly going live. So son plays quarterback for McNeese. Good to know. Thank you guys for watching this one. As I said, if you can. Sam Pate, man, you're coming in at the end. How you doing, buddy? But yeah, if you guys can help send some more people to my channel, get some more subscribers. I need to get over that 1,000 subscriber bump because it does open up some more options for me of things I can do on the channel. But, I appreciate that you're here. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you live next Saturday if I can swing it. Just make sure next time, bring your coffee mugs. We'll chat. We'll look at what's happening that day, and we'll just have a good time. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.